Motul and Pirelli. A reminder, you can start enjoying your Yamaha sooner with Yamaha Motor Finance. You're watching the battle between first and second here, and Elliott is being hounded by Coot.
And I tell you what, this is the hardest I've seen Braden have to ride. He's got a few rear end moments happening there. He's lost the rear just slightly 2 or 3 times in this opening flying lap. So Braden Elliott on the absolute limit.
On board with Kane Burns. It's a nice shot onto pit straight, trying desperately to keep in touch with the 3 riders ahead of him. And the leading 2 pack up. Coot doing a heck of a job here.
Yeah, he's right on the rear. Here's a look at the restart.
Replay of the race start for Suzuki. And Elliott away quickly in advance of Coot. Now the rear angle. The charge down to the first corner. And on board. This is out the back of Coot's bike. We know he started well. There's Kane Burns on his outside.
Yeah, and you can just see Lambert there, how he went backwards. Good start from Alex Phillips there. Kane Burns, a much better start than in race 1.
So back through to the action, and Elliott, here's Coot having a go on the inside. Beautiful move. Under brakes there. The bike was moving around the place under him, but it didn't phase him. To the front he goes.
That is super impressive by Aidan Coot there on the number 66 machine. He showed it to Braden Elliott. Now, it's one thing to follow. Can he lead? What's Braden Elliott going to do about this? He's got a nice tight inside line there. Hard on the gas. He looks like he's going to go up the inside. He can't do it. Coot is hard on the brakes into the bowl.
Let's have a listen to this bike. Coot trying to draw level on the inside, looking for racing room. He's going to do it as they come down the hill and set up for the right-hander back onto pit straight. So Braden Elliott reassumes the lead. Coot in second, Alex Phillips in third. This is the best race of the day so far.
Certainly is. These boys are going hammer and tong. And oh, Kane Burns has gone way out wide there and lost a spot.
Easy to do.
It certainly is. Alex Phillips trying to find a way through. Remember, a lot of these guys, first time at this circuit, don't get to come to WA very often, but when we do, we really enjoy racing at Barbagallo. Phillips, good drive out of turn 5. But Aidan Coot looks to me like he's just losing the toe on Braden Elliott. I reckon that Braden Elliott, he had a few moments on that second flying lap. It's taken him a while to get his confidence back, and that's when Aidan Coot went past. But now he's that tyre's warmed up or come into its own or whatever's happened, but Braden Elliott seems to have that confidence back that we saw in race 1.
Steve, it's surely not too premature to suggest that Braden Elliott has a magnificent future ahead of him in this sport.
He's doing everything right. He really is. He's got the right people behind him. He seems to have the infrastructure behind him to show what he can do. He's preparing himself for the next step, whatever that may be. I don't know. Let's hope. There's a new GSXR Superbike coming in the next couple of years. Let's hope that Suzuki bring a professional team back into this.
Look at this fire and Van Buren. And Aidan Coot running very close together on the circuit. Van Buren is having a big crack. How good was that onboard vision?
Yeah, that is more like the Van Buren we're used to seeing. He's trying to go round the outside now, is Tyron Van Buren. And Kane Burns has made up ground as well after running wide through turn 1 earlier on.
Obviously, Alex Phillips clearly in the second spot now. We'll focus on this wonderful battle for third. Kane Burns went through and then Van Buren went through.
Yeah, they didn't have a choice. Aidan Coot got duffed up into the last turn there, and it's easy to do that. You can use the guy in front of you as a braking marker, and both of those did that last time through.
How good is this?
Look at the mid-corner speed there from Van Buren. Nice tight line there for him. Up the inside again, looking for a way past Aidan Coot on his Yamaha R6. And Sam Lambert's in the background too now. He wants a piece of this action.
Unbelievable action.
He's going to try and get him on the flip-flop. Can't do it there. That's difficult, but he's got a good drive down into the bowl. And once again, he's gone to the outside, and he's gone round the outside.
You got to love this. Outstanding entertainment.
Lambert with a moment. Gets on the gas a little bit too early and nearly high sides out of the bowl.
Kane Burns here on the orange bike. Down the hill he comes. Coot and Van Buren are still giving it to each other. This is great stuff. Now we go on board with Van Buren. A different angle, more insanity.
Somebody needs to teach Van Buren what the inside is. There we go. That's the inside line. That's the way through. Good job.
And he gets it done. Meanwhile, Sam Lambert, the Northern Territorian, on the Triumph has moved up on bike number 17. He wants to play the game.
Yeah, well, remember, he was right up there in race one on the podium. He's not in a podium position at the moment, so there's one right in front of him, a couple of metres in front of him on the road, so he's going to try his best to get through on the two boys in front.
So Braden Elliott, the race leader, Alex Phillips in second. This absorbing tussle further back in the pack. Kane Burns is ahead of this trio. Starting to span out a bit now. Did you see that? The sign language there from Sam Lambert. What was he saying, Steve?
What he's saying is, okay, you stay behind me, don't try and overtake me, and I'll tag you forward, is basically what I reckon that's all about.
I thought it might have been kiss my
rear duck tail.
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly.
It could have been, but you know, he wants to. I mean, he's lost a lot of time on the leading guys trying to get past Aiden Coote. Aiden Coote is a fighter, that's for sure, and he's not going to give up any track unless he has to.
Lap 9 of 16, Super Sport Race 2 for the weekend. And Braden Elliott in charge of proceedings. This is becoming an all too familiar story.
It is, but the boys are catching up. Alex Phillips, this is the best ride I've seen him have. He's really coming to grips now with that ZXR 600, the Radar Cullen prepared machine with the radar in the box down there, twiddling the dials. It certainly made a difference, and look at Alex. He's right there on the back of the man that's pretty much dominated 600 racing throughout Australia this year. Braden Elliott out in front.
You are a wordsmith today. Radar in the box, twiddling the knobs, was it? Where did you come up with that one?
Oh, a lot of research. Burns has come good too. He struggled to come to grips with this circuit throughout qualifying, but he's certainly there now, and the leaders are just in front of him. Difficult to peg them back, but he is a man that's been on the podium before and been right up there with Braden Elliott, so let's see what he can do, but Elliott a long way up the road.
Don't forget, you can get the ultimate in factory back protection with Yamaha Motor Insurance. As we see Alex Phillips, the Victorian, doing an excellent job here. He's starting to eat into the lead that Braden Elliott was enjoying.
Oh yeah, I'd like to see the insurance premium on some of these machines, that'd be for sure.
Back onto the main straight, Braden Elliott, the Hankook Tyres Australia, Royan Truck Trailer Repairs Muscat Trailers entry.
I'll tell you what, Phyllis is riding smooth. I haven't seen him ride so smooth. In fact, he's already just set the fastest lap of the weekend.
Yeah, 57.820. The quickest lap by our race leader, Braden Elliott, was 57.852. That was on lap 5. Meanwhile, you're looking at Kane Burns aboard the number 30 machine, the Suzuki GSXR. His fastest lap, 57.971 on lap 7. So very competitive, the rider of bike 30.
Yeah, it's so close the times here at Barbagallo. And Kane Burns, of course, hasn't got Tony Hatton here this weekend helping him out. So a little bit of work over the telephone to get that GSXR 600 set up. But it certainly shows that when you do have a good name, a good lot of experience on your side, it makes a big difference to the race result.
Thorin Van Buren and also Lambert still having a tremendous battle. You'll see it in a moment. There they are now, bike 21 and 17, and Lambert goes up the inside, so he bumps Van Buren back a spot, the West Australian. Good job by Lambert on the Triumph.
Yeah, he's made it through. Still wobbling and squiggling around on that Triumph. It certainly doesn't look like the most stable machine out there. Perhaps a little bit more setup time could smooth that out.
Yeah, but they've had a fair battle too. He would have used up plenty of rubber.
Oh yeah, that is true. Here we go, up the inside. Once again, slithering and sliding in. Knee on the ground, just letting off the brake now. All the load on the front of the tyre. Holds it tight to the inside to stop Van Buren from getting back up the inside. Not much that he can do about that. Lambert makes a clean pass.
The contact patch with the tyres minimal through that right-hander. So not far to go in this now. Race 2 of Super Sport for the weekend. Elliott leading Alex Phyllis. You can see Phyllis is about half a dozen bike lengths away.
I think he'd be happy with that. It's the best race he's had so far this year. Remember, he was on a 1000cc machine last year, hasn't had a lot of experience on a 600, so good to see him adapting to that thing. There's young Nick Leamington as well, the 16-year-old from South Australia, riding on the JD Cat 600.
Yeah, this is the battle for 6th place on the racetrack. Taylor, Leamington, Coote, they are the major players. We look at the back of Coote's machine now, and then go to the wide shot so you can see exactly where they are on the racetrack. So the battle for 6, I reiterate.
Yep, all nicely tucked in. Leamington's done a good job. He's come from 10th up to 6th. A good young rider up the inside of Coote, and he makes the pass up into 5th place for young Nick Leamington.
Final lap now for the race leaders. Our highlights of this race continue. Well, you run out of superlatives to describe the performances of Braden Elliott in the Australian Supersport Championship so far this season. Hasn't put a wheel wrong.
Smooth, flawless, are two that come to mind. And yeah, I mean, he is the man setting the yardstick at the moment.
Yeah, the benchmark in the sport. Phyllis just starting to lose touch with him. Final lap of the race. And Braden Elliott will chalk up another victory. And charging towards the checkered flag is the Suzuki pilot, Braden Elliott, the winner of race number 2 for Supersport here this weekend. We'll recap the placings for you. He can do no wrong. Phyllis second. He was 1.58 seconds adrift of the race leader. Burns, Lambert, Van Buren, Taylor, Leamington, Coote, Boujos and Twiss.
Yeah, that was a sensational race. The man on 51, once again, what can you say? So smooth, flawless, brought home another winning trophy for that team.
Outstanding. Michelle Moraes, meanwhile, managed to finish in position 12. A big weekend for her. Here's Bryony Ingerson.
Once again, Braden, a superb job from yourself and the Hankook Tyre Suzuki team.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't have asked for a better weekend, you know, to come here to a track I've never even seen before and to be fastest most of the weekend and put it on pole and get 2 race wins. It's, yeah, perfect weekend, and I can't thank the whole team enough for their efforts.
Tell me about the influence that obviously Sean and Phil Tain have had this weekend.
Oh, you know, it's not just this weekend, the whole year. And look, my whole road racing career, it's only my 2nd season on the bike. And to have Phil there working on the bikes and Joel's his support, coaching me, you know, it's a great team, and my family as well. You know, without the support of them and Hankook Tyres, I definitely wouldn't be here.
Alex, what a great result and overall weekend for you. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm chuffed, you know. To come back with this result is it's left me over the moon, you know. It's where we've wanted to be from the start, and unfortunately we missed the first round. And last round, luck didn't really go our way, but now we're back and where I really want to be, improving where I should be. Really, I can't thank enough Cisco's Race Tuning for getting my bike going. You know, they've put in so much effort. I thought they'd tell me to go away last time I came back with the bike. But and also David Callan here, Radar, he's been doing an awesome job in setting my bike up. And without these guys, you know, we wouldn't be out here getting these results.
Sam, overall, a really solid weekend. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I had a bad start in that race and I had to claw my way back up. But once I started getting my rhythm and I started clawing it back, all right, if I had a couple more laps, I might have got there. But overall, it was a good race. I'd like to thank the boys. They put a good work in to get my bike ready and everything. And without Pirelli, I wouldn't have been able to get the bike up there with the grip and everything. So yeah, thanks to them. And Renee from Aerostyle for getting me here, and Terra and E-Print was really good.
Yes, well done. A recap now of the points of the completion of the 3rd round. Elliott on 115. Burns, Coote, Lambert, Taylor, Phyllis, then Quinn, followed by Van Buren, Leamington and Michael Blair down in position number 10. It is great to have you with us on Fox Sports. Race 2 for Superbike comes your way next for Yamaha Motor Finance.
On Fox Sports, this is the Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championship. Our coverage presented by Yamaha Motor Finance, Yamaha Motor Insurance, Motul and Pirelli.
And thank you for joining us. Barbagallo Raceway near Perth. Superbike action is next up. Race 2 for the weekend. And here's Bryony on the grid.
Ryan, starting from position 5, you had some really strong results at Morgan Park. Is this where you wanted to be this weekend?
Ideally, we'd like to be further up to the front, like front row. Obviously, P1 is the ultimate goal for qualifying. But for me, this is my best qualifying result in terms of progressing throughout the weekend. So I'm happy enough to be on the second row. I mean, it's one less row to jump through than what I had at Morgan Park. So I can't complain too much. It's definitely been a progression right throughout the weekend.
What, if anything, have you got for these front runners in this final race?
We've changed the tyre from the front. I just cooked it in that first race. Up the top of the hill, I had a couple of massive slides with the front end, and it just knocked the confidence. I couldn't push the front. So this time around, we should be good to go. Bike's as good as it can ever be. I mean, the Next Gen boys have done an awesome job on this thing. So I reckon we should be able to be well on form and a bit more closer to the front end.
Let's hope so. Good luck.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, the New Zealanders are doing a really good job. Now the grid positions: Jones, Falzon, Henry, Stronach, McFadden, Stronach, Chambers, Hampton, whom we just heard from, Senior, and Mamalotti, the local Western Australian. Of course, a lot of Western Australians here this weekend, as we indicated would be the case, taking part in their home round. The others you can see, 19 bikes scheduled to start the second Superbike race of the weekend. It has been very much the Mike Jones-Daniel Falzon show. As we saw, however, in the first race, a number of other riders very competitive, and we are underway in race 2 for Superbike. And Falzon again has got the whole shot, but Mike Jones squeezes up on the inside to assume control of the race early on. Falzon will be desperate to stay with him. We believe he's chosen a softer compound rubber on his bike for this race. Let's see how it performs.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that softer rubber does perform. It should give him a lot more grip earlier on, but there is a question mark to the longevity of that tyre life towards the end. But at the moment, as you can see, he's already just about on a tighter line, looking to nip up the inside of Mike Jones.
Yeah,
and he has. He's gone straight through on the inside. There's grip for you.
Yeah, great speed by Falzon. And he leads the field down the hill. Your thoughts on what he may have done or has done with his tyre choice?
Well, these Dunlops, they have different tyres for different track temperatures. Now we're here in the afternoon. The track temperature is just on the verge of the right temperature that this tyre may work, so they've given it a chance.
On board with Hampton, the Kiwi.
Yeah, it's
Next Gen Motorsports.
Yeah, good to see him getting a lot more competitive now. He's on the freight train, a big freight train it is, up to the boys at front, but he's still got him in sight. So good on Ryan Hampton. Remember, he's never been to this circuit before, like a lot of these young guys, but coming from New Zealand, an extra little bit to learn.
Full credit to Cameron Stronach on 57. He's up competing with the front runners, Falzon and Jones. That's him in third on 57.
He can hold his head high to be racing with the calibre of the two guys out the front. Let's not forget that the guy leading this race, three-time Australian champ, Mike Jones, has won Australian championship races, and Stronach is right there hanging on. That is a brilliant ride by him.
Pit straight, Falzon under siege. Jones edged a little closer there, and for that matter, Stronach also got closer to both of them. So we've got a tremendous race here. Event 2 for Superbike in the third round of the championship here today at Barbagallo Raceway.
Ben Henry as well, the Western Australian. You just see him in the background there making his way forward through the pack. Qualified terrible yesterday after an electronic problem in qualifying, but trying to make his way through the field.
So no change, the top three. Falzon, Jones and Stronach. Then there's another group of riders not too far away, having their own private war down the hill.
Very impressed with the Yamaha and how stable it is under brakes. Stronach just losing a little bit of time. There's Hampton in the background there as well now on the BMW, the Next Gen BMW as well.
McFadden's in fourth aboard the other BMW, bike number 99.
Yeah, McFadden doing a great job, isn't he? You know, let's face it, Western Australian, but only a few laps into this, 4 laps in, and he's still inside of the leaders. That's pretty impressive riding by him.
Well, given the way the form guide has been so far this season, it's impressive. Because these guys have really bolted off into the distance.
They certainly have. And, oh, bit of a moment there for Mike Jones. Rear end just coming around in the middle of the bowl there.
That must be exhilarating as a rider. Here's Jones. He backs himself up on the inside. But Falzon will hang on and maintain the race lead.
Yeah, looks like the rear Dunlop is working quite well so far. But Falzon very, very strong under brakes. It's taking Mike Jones everything he can do to try and get past.
For Suzuki, we check out the replay of the race start.
Better start for Mike Jones that time through. Pole shots into turn 1. For the first time, Falzon doesn't take the lead on the first lap, but that didn't matter because he got through later on in the lap. Still hanging in there, Jones.
That was when the lead changed early. And now Jones takes it from Daniel Falzon. Up on the inside we switch and go on board with Daniel.
Yep, and that also just cost Daniel some drive out of there. So Jones did the great move. He got through, then pretty much recovered. Falzon wanted to get on the gas early, but he couldn't. So he had to back off there.
So Falzon desperate to stay in touch with Mike Jones. And he obviously is doing so, approaching mid-race distance.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, and that tyre is hanging in, although it did look a little bit squirrely out of there. So perhaps there is a little bit of movement starting to creep into the back of Mike Jones's bike. But this is the closest he's been at half-race distance.
You've got to have so much commitment as you approach the crest of that hill. The bike's literally airborne, and you're doing massive speed through there. No place for the faint at heart. Here's Falzon having another go.
Yeah, he certainly is. He makes up a lot under brakes. Yeah, you do. You know, like the whole track here at Barbagallo, you've got to be committed. It's all about entry corner speed. And here's Mike Jones showing us exactly how committed you have to be. Back end out of line, tips into turn 1, then has to tip it over even more to try and get a bit of a lap. Well, it looks like that rear tyre is starting to go off a bit now on Falzon. He's starting to lose touch.
Yeah, our highlights continue. You can see Ben Henry there, bottom of screen, bike number 18, followed through by Hampton. Here's Jones leading Falzon on lap 12.
Yeah, I don't think that it was a good move to, it was a good move to try the tyre, but it's not working the way that the Caterpillar team expected, because it looks to me like the performance has dropped off. On the other side, this man, Mike Jones, absolutely consistent. Lap times are within 0.1, 0.2 in deviation the whole way through this race. And he's really just got to bring it home now.
Yeah, the thing about tyre choice, it's all about having the optimum package for the back end of the race, not the beginning.
Well, it is, but the JD Racing Caterpillar team, they are basically, doing the best they can. Let's have a look at this Barbagallo circuit. It's second, third gear through here. Flick to the left, flick to the right, hold third gear, and then you go around this long left-hander. It's blind up through here. You've got to get the change of direction just right as you flick over the hill. You've got to change in here. Then once again, you can't see the edge of the track, but you move all the way out, blind again down into the bowl, back through the gearbox, second or third gear through here, depending on what gearing ratio you've got. Got to get on the torque nice and early, hold it nice and tight, and get the gas on nice and early, up over the hill here. Now, the tricky part is you do not want to loft the wheel too high there because you lose ground. Keep the gas on hard, then hard into the brakes, very, very hard into this 90-degree corner here. Do not hit the inside of the curb. Look how tall that curb is there, and that is your lap of Wanneroo Park.
Ah, well done. Steve Martin, former World Endurance Champion, former National Superbike Champion.
Yeah, it was impressive stuff.
Sticking with this onboard picture.
It's quite a quick lap around here too. 58 seconds, 55 seconds for these machines. And Falzon, he might not have known his way round at the start of the weekend, but he certainly knows his way around there now.
There's our second place rider. We saw Stronach briefly, the West Aussie, who is safely in third position. Ben Henry is fourth. followed by Ryan Hampton, Anthony McFadden and Ralph Mamalotti.
Whoa!
Whoa! Fouls on.
There is an indication that you're lacking rear grip, and that is definitely what's holding down. Let's have a look at that. He's on the gas hard. He's wider than he normally would be, going around the outside. He's on a bit of dirty track there, and that nearly cost him a big high side. He caught up with those two guys in the wrong spot, and he wasn't expecting that. But on the final lap now, Mike Jones has got this in hand.
That was exciting. What a moment.
You want to be sitting where he's sitting. A lot more exciting right there, I can tell you.
And he's wearing predominantly white leathers. Straight to the dry cleaner tomorrow. Wow. Mike Jones, he wears black leathers. He's got it dialed. Last lap now for the current championship leader, who will do his progress points tally.